What is going on, lunatic fringe guys? We've got a big update for you, and if you haven't, make sure you check out the Fire token. They're having the pre-sale right now. Remember, this is Levi, and his purpose here is to use the pre-sale money to get mining rigs, using the mining rigs to mine Bitcoin, using the Bitcoin to buy back and burn Luna Classic. And at this point, there are only a few different methods by which Luna Classic is being burned. Number one, voluntary burns where people are donating to the burn process. Then you have Binance and most of the exchanges doing big burns. Then you had a few other tokens who have burn principles behind it, but none of them have been self-sustaining, and they rely on trade volume. The cool thing about Fire token is it doesn't really rely on trade volume. Once the Bitcoin mining rigs are up, then if profitable, and they will have to pay. And by the way, in Canada, the price of energy is a little bit cheaper and a little more sustainable than it is in other places. So that's a benefit to the system. So if that happens, then this is a great burn opportunity. But I urge you to go check that out and do your own research for yourself and decide if that's the investment for you. But that's not the important thing right now. The important thing is what's going on in these ecosystems. And I have a couple of pieces of information for you that you might be real interested in. Number one, Terra Luna Classic to burn all USTC in the community pool. And this is another proposal for burning more stuff by Vegas Morph. Now, by the way, you will notice that there are different ways and different initiatives that are coming out of this for different ways to burn. And the move comes amid the renewed narrative to burn the 800 million USTC from Risk Harbor multi-sig wallet, which was also initially suggested by Vegas Morph. Now, the other thing is it's blacklisted and it's not included in the price. So even though you see here, there's 9.7 billion in supply and only 8.9 in circulation. That 800 million is already out of the circulating supply, not affecting the price, but it would provide a little clarity and it would help people and provide an impetus and incentive to people for that to happen. And now he wants to burn the 8 million USTC in the community pool, which is, I would say roughly $24,000. I want to say now, here's I do think that it's important for us to point out at some point, Terra Luna Classic as a chain will no longer fund itself. And, I think we need to be a little more careful and calculated about some of this. And it seems like that some sort of variable repeg mechanism that would allow for USTC to burn at the same time as Luna Classic, or turning on one side or the other, creating some sort of variable switch, it seems to be optimal, but I don't see a whole lot of discussion about making that happen. And that, of course, that's the catalyst that's going to send this into the stratosphere. Meme coins running, because at this point, without a true mechanism, we sit kind of in a meme coin space where a lot of people, degens like myself, invested in Luna Classic early on, and now we're just kind of holding a big bag. So I would venture to say that just perhaps we might want to in some way consider maybe using it for a purpose as opposed to just burning, because look, I think that if you can just I'm not saying that this is what's happening, but what if the purpose behind all this is just to trade in order to pump the price on that, and then dump whatever you're holding on the market and make a big profit, and then wait for the price to dip again, and then you buy a bunch more, and then you come up with another initiative and you do the same. And I'm not saying that that's what Vegas is doing at all. What I'm saying is there are people who are using that to their advantage, and we're not accomplishing anything other than giving people literal pump and dumps. So I would be reticent to support continuing to do these, because that's what ends up happening. I think really what we need to do is find ways to have serious discussions about how this repeg best works. Now, the other piece of news is that Terraform Labs and the SEC have agreed on confidentiality terms as the trial approaches. Now, Judge Jed Rakoff, who is the judge that's handling this lawsuit, has gone on record in opposition to Judge Annalisa Torres. And if you don't know who that is the lady, the judge that ruled on XRP, saying that sales to individuals does not constitute a security, rather it's a commodity. So made the job very difficult for the SEC to prosecute people, because it now has standing as a law and it was not challenged in court. So that really makes it the law of the land at this point. But he ignores it. So be wary with this. I think that there's an attack coming, not only from the from SEC, but the court system. So, however, and they want Duquan to be here, and Montenegro has now overturned that ruling that he's coming to the United States. But I digress. The important part here is that they have confidentiality and you cannot release any information. The reason you can't release any information is because the information probably benefits Terraform Labs greatly. Now consider the SEC has to save face. This would not be an embarrassing situation. You can't have an embarrassment, right? So what you have to do is you got to come up with a way, somehow, some way here. You have to figure out you have to figure out a path forward if you're the SEC, and you don't want people to know what really happened because it spoils your narrative that Terraform Labs just did it and Duquan did it, right? So they've got a gag order on everything going on with this trial. And the reason for that is, if you remember, Jump Crypto Trading, part of Jump Trading out of Chicago, Illinois, put in a brief about their role in the depegging of Terra. And to this point, it's been established by the SEC, or being trying to be proved by the SEC, that Duquan was the person that was behind it, but now evidence is compelling that that may not be the case, in my estimation. And as we get closer to this trial, I do think that we are going to see a fantastic pump on Luna and Luna Classic because of this. And when the evidence starts to come out, I think people are going to jaw drop at the level of, I mean, I want to say scumbaggery that went into depegging this thing. So that is the order right now. So we'll see how that plays out. That trial is going to be coming up pretty soon. So when we get more information, we're going to definitely give it to you, and you will know. Nothing really to report on Commonwealth. Price action, it did exactly what we said. Like, there's no getting around it. Like this chart did exactly what I said it was going to do, what we all said it was going to do. Broke out to the upside. We got that nice big candle. This was off of Duquan. This was the Duquan news that he was not being sent to the United States. Then we came back and we retested the breakout. We held onto the breakout, but then we got summarily rejected right here off of this long-standing resistance line. Now, it was support at that point, and we continue to find sell pressure at this range, which would indicate that we need new buyers to step in. So if we don't have new buyers to step in with new news to cause that, then we will end up seeing this move back towards that downside. However, it could be that this is propped up by the overall and broader market. We could be heading into an altcoin season. As you can see from the altcoin index, we are continuing to pump into an altcoin season. We are almost there. Now, if that were to happen, then we would most likely get a massive break to the upside. This would be the spot where, and I don't think that this is going to be a massive altcoin season. I think it'll be a nice redeeming sort of altcoin season. But then, of course, we'll be looking at 28. We'll probably bust through there very quickly, and then we'll probably be right on to the local high being 59. So, I would think that we're going to have a breakout pretty soon if this maintains and continues the way that it's going. Now on station here, you've got nothing that's really create an official community Commonwealth platform. Probably a decent idea to do. We already have one, but okay. The fact that it's with the Terra Agora is probably what they're referring to in this. So that being said, like, create our own stuff here. So that would be a decent idea. But trade volume down under 100 million. By the way, let me backtrack, because I did want to point out that we're still doing this nonsense right here, trying to set tax policy to 1.5 cent. And this is, guys, this is silly. If Binance won't do it, they're not doing it because whales won't trade and lose 1.5% every single time they trade. That's stupidity. Now, I know that some people think, well, that's got to be a great idea because we want to burn overall. And I get that, and I understand the sentiment behind that. I am not opposed to finding new ways to burn, which is why I find that fire token fascinating, which is why I found burn fascinating. I didn't lean too much into burn But I find any ways to try to burn some tokens that is fascinating, and it does move the needle, especially when Binance announces that they've had a big burn month or something like that. But generally speaking, we have to find a way to repeg USTC and Luna Classic. Otherwise, we're not going to have the large burns that we would normally be looking for. There has to be a way to make this happen. Now, the other thing is there's 8.9 billion USTC that are sitting out there right now. We don't have $8.9 billion to repeg. So, there has to be some kind of move that will happen to make this stuff go on. And then there have to be some testing on Test Center, et cetera, et cetera. But look, just raising the tax to 1.5%, that kills meme coins. That kills when you have taxes on these tokens. That's when people stop trading them, because there's no money to be made, because you have to wait longer. You have less volume because you have to wait longer, and that kills momentum. It's basically it's a boner killer. So vote how you want in your conscience, but this is not a good idea. It's a stupid idea, and it continues to be. And every time people put it out, I'm going to continue to say it's a stupid idea. Now, USTC volume is up 40% on the day, but the dollar amount is not really ripping. It's up a little bit on the day, but not a lot, 5%. So, we'll see how this all plays out. But again, unless there's some kind of big move in one direction or another, this is coming down unless it gets propped up by the market, because we don't really have some massive sort of catalyst. But I do think that at some point that massive catalyst will become Duquan going into the final part of this Montenegro stuff, and then Terraform Labs starting their trial. It's going to be a big deal for this entire Cosmos ecosystem, especially for Luna and Luna Classic. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Hit the like button, the subscribe button, the bell to be notified of future content. This is not financial advice. My name is Bleaves. I'm always right. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you again very, very soon. And if we don't talk before, Merry Christmas.